like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who could bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GGB Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have yourself to blame, y'all. Cricket TV and they weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth off LVBC. We are the underground out the job. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got them banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
Oh man, where do I start? Where do I start tonight, man? Man, y'all press one if y'all can hear me in the comments, man. Got a mic check. 1 2 1 2. Make sure this mic is right. I'm gonna let y'all know exactly what's going on, man. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the comment section, man. And also, while y'all can, click the link in the description box below the video. Go get the A Weapons new album, the greatest A Weapons on our intros. The album, R&B album, is out right now in the store. The link is in the description box below, along with all our other links: Cash App, PayPal, podcast show, Facebook, X, weight loss formula link. Man, everything else y'all can think of. Link to our other YouTube channel. All the links in the description box below this video. Let me see. Y'all can hear me? Let me see where we're going to get started. Okay, y'all can hear me? All right, man, look. Let me start at this right quick. If you ain't got a job, sister, you need to get a job. You need to get a job if you ain't got no job. Sister Gina? Oh, Sister Gina, you need to get a job if you ain't got no job. Because you writing a letter after all those things you said. And the fact that you gave statements, ma'am, to federal prosecutors, ma'am, that whole situation gonna backfire. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Job if you ain't got one, right? Like all the other hard-working citizens that's out here listening, they got to get up and go to work tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying, Sister Gina? You feel me? But let's get on to this right here, man. So when it rains, oh, it pours, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, and before I forget to tell y'all, I told y'all this the other day. Trump's new guy, Jay Clayton. Oh yeah, he's the new United States District Attorney, and he was appointed again by Donald J. Trump in April of this year. He's the new United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York. He came and wrote this filing and laid the absolute smackdown on Diddy, which was a complete surprise, which has Diddy going crazy and losing his mind, as Diddy could not believe that Donald Trump's own man would come out and go against him. But once again, you have to remember, Diddy, if the left one don't get you, the right one will. Because Donald Trump is like the rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin himself. And the words are this: DTA, buddy, don't trust anybody. Because you, Sean Diddy Combs, turned your back on him when you said he should be eradicated. So all he's doing is returning the favor to you. And when you thought he was going to bail you out, he looked at you and gave you the proverbial 2 middle fingers, kicked you in the stomach and hit you with a stone cold stunner. And that's all I got to say about that. Now, let's move on. Jay Clayton is Donald Trump's guy. Jay Clayton not only says that Diddy should not get released. Jay Clayton says that Diddy is a flight risk. And the reason why he's a flight risk is because, and the reason why I'm telling everybody that the bail is going to get denied again is because Diddy has to show astronomical changes from his bail already getting denied for a judge to overturn it. There is no astronomical changes he's shown. The man brought out Gina and got Gina out here, who was supposed to testify for the government, who gave statements to the government testifying against Diddy, but then turn around, she could end up going to prison for giving false statements to federal authorities and investigators. It's funny how she was nowhere to be found during the trial. As soon as the trial's over with, TMZ found her in a parking lot somewhere at a grocery store, walking to a new, what I think it was BMW, if I'm not mistaken. Beamer, Benz, or Bentley. Oh, yeah. Sister Gina was out there just casually walking, and they're going to ask her, hey, Gina, do you think Diddy's a danger? No, I don't think he's a danger. I think he'll be all right. I'm not that scared. That ain't what you said to Tasha K. That ain't what you said to them federal authorities. Y'all, girl, you better stop. See, I'm telling you right now, girl. See, y'all playing. Y'all think it's a game. But as the judge saw in his paperwork, and this is what made Diddy go crazy, y'all. And yes, I got some new news for y'all tonight. Just wait for it. Let me cook. Let me do what I do. Donald Trump's new guy. And this is what's kicking Diddy off. Bad. He's heated about this shit. You can feel it boiling through his blood. That's why he's panicking right now. Because Donald Trump sent his new guy, and his new guy is laying a smackdown. He says that they're looking for substantially higher than 5.5 years prison sentence for Sean Diddy Combs. Substantially higher. And what people have to understand, and I keep telling people this in the comment section, but y'all need to understand the law, and you will know the law if you read them. The judge does not have to go by the sentencing guidelines. The only thing the judge has to do is go between 0 and 20 years, 10 on each count. Diddy got 2 counts. The judge can give him 20 years max. He can give him 2 for 10 and then run it back to back and give him 20. And it's all on the judge. The sentencing guidelines are what you call recommendations. So Diddy's lawyers can recommend something and the government can recommend something. At the end of the day, the judge can use everything to determine what's going on. And here's the thing about the judge. The judge not only can determine and use everything that he wants to use, even because, see, Diddy's lawyers, they must not have a brain because they keep screaming, oh, he was acquitted of that, acquitted of that. Mr. Diddy legal team, the law says that Judge Submaranian, sir, he can still use things that Diddy was acquitted for and his sentencing against Sean Diddy Combs. Let me read that again. See, Judge Submaranian has wide latitude to consider factors beyond guidelines, the guidelines, right? Beyond the guidelines, such as Diddy's character, the nature of the offenses, and evidence of violence presented at trial. And let me tell you something, Diddy's gonna snap because Diddy's lawyers did it. They cannot appeal, and this is why Diddy and them losing their mind. They can't appeal any of this because Diddy's lawyers, to get off the sex trafficking, to get off of the RICO, they went in court and said, oh, no. We admit to the violence. He's a very violent man. Case closed. Your own legal team said that. Now the fact that your own legal team said that, the judge can go out here and goddamn gonna ring it up on your ass. Point blank period. The judge has done everything meticulously so that Diddy cannot appeal. And now that Trump has come out, put his own guy in and his own guy, let me tell you something. Donald Trump is not going to do one thing. Anybody that's loyal to him, he ain't going against him. This new guy he got up there, you guys, right here on the right-hand side of your screen, Donald Trump been rolling with him for a minute. Remember, Donald Trump appointed Jay Clayton as the SEC chairman back in 2017. Donald Trump has a history with this guy. He not finna undercut his own guy. Let him come in here, humiliate Diddy, and then come say, no, I'm going to pardon him on the last day. Not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. He's not going to undercut his own guy. Plus, Donald Trump has too many people that surround him that don't like Diddy at all. Don't have any vested interest in Diddy. And let me say this. Diddy has a problem. He has what you call a MAGA problem, a Republican problem. The Republicans don't like Diddy. And Diddy's going to have to get the right candidate in office in the next election. He's going to have to hope in order to pray for any chance of a future pardon. Because if the Republicans stay in office, Man, ain't no way the hell that boy getting out. And let me tell y'all something. All y'all was sitting here riding smooth early. It ain't gonna be riding smooth late. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, as I come before you, being the great one, the man, the myth, the legend that I am, I come to all the Diddyites and all the Diddy lovers as with a bearer. I come bearing, what's the opposite of gifts? I come bearing ass whoopings for all the Diddyites. As tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you that Sean Diddy Combs has a new problem, ladies and gentlemen. See, I always told you guys, if the left one don't get you, if the left one don't get you, baby, the right one will. If the left one don't get you, the right one will. Can you hit rewind? Now, before I tell you what's going on, let me put a little nugget that I told y'all yesterday and the day before. When Donald Trump's guy, Jay Clayton, on the right-hand side of your screen, when he put this filing in the other day, on the 31st, he redacted that part that's blacked out. He blacked that part out. The judge specifically asked him, because the judge saw the part that's blacked out. The judge says, hey, why did you guys black that part out? Why not let that part hang? I mean, you have pseudonyms for names anyways. Why not release that part? The judge is smarter than what you think. See, I think that the judge knows what's going on. I think the judge wants to unleash all that information to the public. So when he laid a smackdown come October the 3rd on Judgment Day, when it's time to get that time, everybody and their mama know what the hell is going on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't read, you need to read that line. And let me tell you something. The judge does not need to be disciplined because the judge helped Diddy out a long way. In fact, the judge helped Diddy out so much, the judge left all of this information out of the case. See how judges' names at the top of that list right there, Judge Submarania? See, all of these fools running around here, hey man, the judge ain't fair. The judge ain't fair. Know your role and shut your damn mouth. The judge damn near helped Diddy by leaving all of this stuff out the case. Even that on your screen. Oh, because in this case, the judge did not allow, like R. Kelly's case, they used corroborating witnesses with different testimony against Diddy like they did against R. Kelly. That helped R. Kelly get convicted. The judge, before this case, Diddy's lawyers did a great job. They got all of this thrown out. And the judge, he didn't break no laws. The judge threw this out because he says basically it wasn't prevalent to the timeline of this case. So what the judge did was he threw all it out. See, you had a lot of people on YouTube running around here saying, hey man, why didn't they have Big Gene Deal up there testifying since he know everything? Well, because if you know your role and shut your mouth, you would understand that this case did not go into the timeline of Gene Deal when he was with Sean Diddy Combs. Gene Deal was with Diddy in the 90s and in the first couple of years of the 2000s. This case started like in 08, 07, something like that. So this was out of his jurisdiction. There was nothing for him to testify between the time of 08, 07, and 2024 because he wasn't working for Diddy. So he wasn't going to be used in this case. Use your mind and use your brains. If that was the case, they would have brought all these other people in as witnesses and to all kind of acts and things like that. The judge marked all of these different things out. But like I tell y'all this, if the left one don't get you, if the left one does not get you, the right one will. The right one will. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as I told y'all, that part that's redacted right there is very important. Ladies and gentlemen, read that paragraph before I tell you what happened tonight. The defendant contends that he does not pose a danger because the trial record does not reflect the acts of violence by the defendant between 2018, when he ended his relationship with Cassie Ventura, in 2024, when he viciously assaulted Jane. Think, y'all. Everybody that's reading this paperwork, use your mind. Now, I want you guys to go watch the interview with Tasha K and Sister Gina. In that interview, done 6 years ago, with Tasha K and Sister Gina, Gina stated, Tasha K asked Gina a question that would be so prevalent to today. She asked Gina, when was the last time Diddy put hands on you? And Sister Gina said, in 2018. How much you want to bet that's the same thing that she told the feds right here in her testimony, as she admitted that she was victim number 3? Read the last 2 lines down there at the bottom of your screen from victim number 3, with all the parts that are blacked out. This clearly is sufficient to establish that Combs used force and coercion. Gina being taken out of that case helped destroy this case. But Gina gave statements to the feds. And when you give statements to federal agents, oh my God, when you lie to the feds, automatic potential 5-year sentence in prison for perjury. Now she comes out. But let's go back to this, because this is the part everybody got to catch. The judge asked, second paragraph, y'all, the defendant contends that he does not pose a danger. They're talking about Diddy, because the trial record does not reflect. Read the words, y'all. The trial record. You know why the trial record doesn't reflect this? Because Gina didn't show up to the trial. So how can you say Diddy committed abuse between 2018 and 2024 on any woman if Gina didn't show up and testify in court? But ladies and gentlemen, wait. There's more. Remember, all of the things that we didn't see, all the things that were blacked out and that were thrown out of this case, the judge saw. And I think the judge is covering his ass on this one. And I'm going to read to you why. Continuing on in the second paragraph. As an initial matter, the defendant's violent attack of Jane and his years-long proclivity towards violence against Mrs. Ventura, and read this, y'all, and others, is more than sufficient to establish his dangerousness. But the defendant's suggestion that Diddy's suggestion that he went several years without inflicting violence on another person simply is not true. The defendant Diddy did engage in several acts of violence between 2018 and 2024. Who are they talking about in that black part, y'all? The judge told the government, hey, why did y'all black that out? Unblack that out. All you did was redact the names. I saw the unblacked out part. Unblack it out for all the people to see. So come tomorrow, y'all, you're all going to see what was blacked out. Will they put Gina's testimony there? Because it's quite strange that today, all of a sudden, out of the blue, Sister Gina writes a letter begging the judge to let Diddy out, saying, oh, he's not violent no more. How much you want to bet? If you go back and listen to that interview with Tasha K asked Gina a question that she didn't know that was going to be prevalent and relevant to this time today. She asked Gina, when was the last time that Diddy assaulted you? And Gina said in 2018. Read the paperwork right here. They said the defendant's suggestion that he went several years without inflicting violence on another person is simply not true. The defendant did engage in several acts, not one, y'all. They said several acts of violence between 2018 and 2024. Now, look, y'all, the judge told them they got to unblack all that out tomorrow, which means everything's going to be exposed. Is there going to be new charges coming? Is there a new case coming? I know a new case is about to come up that I'm about to tell y'all about tonight. It says, although this evidence, read under the black part, y'all. See, everybody's running around here on YouTube, running their mouth like a bunch of Rudy Poo candy asses. Oh, ticket. Didn't have anything. Know your role and shut your mouth when you talking to the damn great one. I am the goddamn great one, and you listening to him right now, sucker. Although this evidence was not presented at trial, the court is free to consider it in assessing Diddy's dangerousness. I did not tell y'all that the judge can use all of this stuff to hit Diddy with the Holy Ghost. And I'm talking about the whole slab. And this is why I believe, ladies and gentlemen, and if I roll the dice and I put everything on the line, I'm willing to bet tomorrow that under that black part right there, we're going to find out that Sister Gina's name may just pop up. And now it will make full sense to why all of a sudden today, in a Hail Mary, Sister Gina writes to court saying, oh, judge, but Diddy, he was nice. He's a good family man. All these other things now. Out of the woodworks at the last minute. I think Diddy's team knows something is coming. They already have read under that black part. It's the general public who doesn't know. But wait, ladies and gentlemen, read under the black part. Although this evidence was not presented at trial, the court is free to consider it in assessing Diddy's dangerousness. Then they gave you, see, United States versus LaFontaine, 210, 3D, F3D 125, 130 through 131, Second Circuit 2000. Read this part right here, y'all. Recognizing that proffers, do y'all not know what a proffer is? When you give an agreement where you can't be charged, that your testimony cannot be used against you in a court of law. So recognizing that proffers are permissible, both in bail determination and in bail revocation context. That means under that black part, I'm giving y'all education tonight. Under that black part, we're going to find out tomorrow. They're going to hit this nigga with the Holy Ghost. And they're going to baptize him in front of the whole world. Because the judge can use those statements that was made to the federal employees. And Sister Gina, I pray to God that your name does not come up under that black part. The judge set it up hook, line, and sinker. He didn't have to tell the government to let that loose so the whole world can see. The judge is smart. He's doing it so everyone can see. When he lays the smackdown on Sean Diddy Combs, you're going to know why. Because Sister Gina gave statements to federal authorities. The only question left is under that black part, are we going to find out tomorrow if that's Sister Gina's statement that they're going to use against Sean Diddy Combs, which means the statement that she gave today in those papers would show a stark difference to what she told investigators. And it's real strange, and it's going to look real bad to the judge. It's going to backfire on Diddy. How this woman popped up out of the blue when she was nowhere to be found during the trial. And if her testimony, ladies and gentlemen, was so favor of Diddy, why didn't she get on the stand and testify for Diddy? Because she knew she gave statements to the feds, and they'll tear that ass up on the stand in cross-examination. So Diddy's lawyers couldn't risk it. But as I tell you guys, and I tell you always, if the left one don't get you, the right one will. And tomorrow, we're going to find out who and what they said as evidence that was not used in the trial, that can be used against Diddy legally in his bail hearing and revocation. We're going to see what happens. And this could turn into a whole different case. But ladies and gentlemen, I come to you tonight as humbly as I know how. Because this case, on October the 17th, 2025, is now about to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Because Lil Rod, Rodney Jones, and Sean P. Diddy Run the City Show No Pity case goes into discovery and will begin its premiere stages 2 weeks after Diddy is sentenced, 14 days on October the 17th. And you know I got the paperwork, baby. Shout out to the docket. You already know what it is. And as you see on your screen right there, ladies and gentlemen, tried and true, etched in stone, right there on your screen. Please believe it. Believe it, please. It says facts, discovery. The parties agree. The fact discovery will commence 14 days after Mr. Combs' sentencing, which is scheduled to take place on October the 3rd, 2025. All fact discovery shall be completed no later than 180 days from the start of the fact discovery. Lil Rod, Rodney Jones case is got put in court expeditiously in civil court, and this could turn into another criminal case for Sean Diddy Combs, because depending on the evidence that Lil Rod Rodney Jones presents in the civil, Donald Trump's new man, Jay Clayton, in the United States Department of Justice, and the FBI may take on a whole new case. Now, if you guys don't know what happened, let me explain to you what's getting ready to go. Back in February 2024, the music industry was rocked by a high-profile lawsuit filed by the man on the right-hand side of your screen named Rodney Lil Rod Jones, music producer, against the hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The federal lawsuit lodged in the Southern District of New York accused Diddy of serious misconduct, including sexual assault, harassment, drugging, and involvement in a racketeering enterprise. The allegations, spanning from September of 2022 to November of 2023, have drawn significant attention due to their graphic nature and the prominence of the individuals involved. This article explores, and I'm telling you guys right now, the details of Rodney Jones' claims. As Rodney Jones, a Chicago-based producer and videographer, worked with Diddy in 2023 on the Love album, Off the Grid, which earned a Grammy nomination, according to Jones' 73 federal complaint. During the period he lived and worked with Diddy, he was subjected to a range of disturbing experiences that went far beyond his role as a producer. The lawsuit paints a picture of Diddy as a powerful figure who allegedly leveraged his influence to intimidate, manipulate, and exploit Lil Rod Rodney Jones. Amongst the most serious allegations, Lil Rod Rodney Jones claims that Sean Diddy Combs sexually harassed and assaulted him through consistent, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of intimate areas, including his anus and his balls. The lawsuit details specific incidents, such as Diddy allegedly forcing Jones to work in his bathroom while Diddy showered naked in a glass enclosure, creating an uncomfortable and coercive environment. Jones also alleges that Diddy attempted to groom him into engaging in homosexual activity, claiming that Diddy's presented such behavior as a quote-unquote normal practice in the music industry and used a recording of producer Stevie J to manipulate him. Beyond the personal allegations, Rodney Jones accused Diddy of orchestrating a widespread, dangerous criminal sex trafficking organization. He claims he was forced to procure sex workers and engage in sexual acts for Combs' pleasure, often under duress. Jones alleged he was drugged on multiple occasions, waking up disoriented in bed with sex workers and in one instance Combs himself. He further asserted that Diddy provided laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at parties held at his properties in California, New York, Florida, and the Virgin Islands, U.S. The lawsuit includes screenshots and photos purportedly showing underage girls and sex workers at these gatherings, some of whom were allegedly given drug-laced drinks. Rodney Jones also claims that Diddy and his son Justin Combs were involved in the 2022 shooting at a Los Angeles recording studio, alleging they hid during the police investigation. Additionally, he accused Diddy's chief of staff, Miss Christina Coram, of aiding and abetting the alleged misconduct, you guys, comparing her role to the role of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's operations. Lord have mercy. Other notable figures named in the lawsuit had included Cuba Gooding Jr., who was accused of sexually harassing and assaulting Rodney Jones on a yacht rented by Diddy in January of 2023, and rapper Young Miami, who allegedly transported drugs for Diddy and worked as a paid sex worker. Financially, Lil Rodney Jones alleges he was not properly compensated for his work on the Love album, claiming that he's owed over $50,000 in producer fees and royalties and publishing shares. To fund his legal battle, he launched a GoFundMe campaign, which raised less than $1,500 of his $50,000 goal by February of 2024. Combs and his legal team vehemently denied all the allegations from Rodney Jones and said that it's all fiction and a shameless attempt to create media hype and extract a quick settlement. In a statement, Diddy's attorney, Sean Hawley, asserted that we have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. The defense has argued that Rodney Jones' lawsuit lacks specific details, such as precise dates and locations of the alleged assaults, and is filed with legally meaningless allegations and lurid theatrics. In August of 2024, Combs filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit, describing it as an attempt to dress up a run-of-the-mill commercial disagreement as a salacious conspiracy. They also took aim at his attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, accusing him of filing lawsuits to garner media attention and pressure defendants into settlements. They claimed that Blackburn ignored their attempts to share evidence disproving Rodney Jones' claims. In response, Blackburn called the dismissal motion a billing exercise by Combs' lawyers, noting that Combs was not provided an affidavit under penalty of perjury to counter Jones' sworn statements. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, this case is now going to discovery. Rodney Jones has came out and stated that he has tons of evidence that the world has never seen that he will show in this case. He says that he has evidence he has not displayed with anyone that he will show 2 weeks after Diddy is sentenced on October the 17th when the trial starts. He claims that he will display this evidence in discovery, and he says that he has unbelievable hardcore evidence. He says he has video evidence. He says he has photo evidence. He says he has tons of other evidence against Sean Diddy Combs. that he is presenting in this case and in this trial. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys see, Sean Diddy Combs has a whole new problem, because here's the one thing everybody needs to understand. The thing everybody needs to understand is this: Diddy beat the RICO, so they couldn't take his money with that RICO and the sex trafficking. But here's the problem Diddy has. In civil court, there's less of a threshold to find Diddy guilty. In criminal court, it must be beyond a reasonable doubt. In civil court, it's much less. If Sean Diddy Combs is found guilty of the sex trafficking that he's alleging, or the RICO that he's alleging, of any of these cases, the courts can seize his assets financially and seize his business assets, the same as they would be able to if he was found guilty in a criminal case. Once again, if Sean Diddy Combs is found guilty, which is easier to do, and y'all smash the like button, we should have well over 3,000 likes, which is easier to do in a civil case, then the feds can come and confiscate all of Sean Diddy Combs' assets, equivalent to the amount that has been determined at the trial. These are all things we're getting ready to find out. But this came down, and now on October the 17th of this year, the discovery will begin. That means the phase where Lil Rod, Rodney Jones, has to show his evidence that he has stated that he has. He will have a chance to present it in a court of law. And so this is a very, very serious situation, because now this situation, depending on the evidence that he brings forward, and he told DJ Academics in an interview, he has unbelievable evidence. And he says he has video, audio evidence, photographic evidence. And he says that he is going to display that evidence in court. And he says that once he displays that evidence, that he will be vindicated. So we will have to see what evidence indeed he says he has. He says he has a ton of it. Now, he shows some evidence he claimed to have in these lawsuits, but he claims that he had much more evidence that the world did not see. And he said he had to get low and protect himself and stay safe this entire time until his court date, to where he could present this evidence. And now they've given him a date. October the 17th, 2025 of this year will be the first day that he starts to present his evidence against Sean Diddy Combs and all of the claims that he made against Diddy. See, when you accuse somebody of something in a civil court, you have to go and show your evidence in discovery, right? And what happens is, in discovery, a judge will determine if your evidence is credible enough to warrant a trial. So Lil Rod is going to bring all that evidence to discovery. And if his evidence is what he says it is, the judge is going to schedule a trial. They're going to go to court. Problem is that this situation can open up Diddy to a whole new can of worms, because Lil Rod's situation is not the same as Cassie's situation. Lil Rod's situation and Cassie's situation are two completely different cases. And remember, Lil Rod said he met with the feds for 3.5 days. And he said he was surprised at all the things that the feds had left out of that case from him meeting with the feds. Did the feds do that because they're planning on another case? It makes me think, why is Diddy's lawyers so hell-bent on getting these two felons off his record? Is that because they know that the government now has two felons on Diddy's record? And if they're to bring him back to court again, now he can't say that he is not a felon, a convicted felon? So they want to try to get that off of his record. That's why a pardon was so important to them, because a pardon will wipe the slate clean. But now, Diddy miscalculated and he talked down on Trump. And now he needs Trump. Man, oh man, oh man. And everybody was upset. And I have to tell y'all something before I leave this video tonight. Everybody was upset and said, why didn't the feds bring all the charges in this case? Ladies and gentlemen, there's an old saying. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. See, Comey was partially running this case since Damian Williams had left. Comey knows that her and Donald Trump had beef. So she didn't know if Trump was going to use that against her, make her look bad, and pardon Diddy if she hit Diddy with all those charges. So what Comey did, in my opinion, was put a little bit here and hold a little bit in her back pocket for a second go round, in case Donald Trump wanted to do something crazy. And then she wait till Donald J. Trump got out of office and come hit his ass with the whammer slammer, thank you mama again. Let me say this to you. So when she held some things back, because remember, if she puts everything in that case, all the things in that one case, and she loses, she can never come back and charge any of that stuff again. Diddy, that his slate will be wiped clean of all of those things. But if she hit him with a little bit here, and just to see what Trump was going to do, but Trump came and fired her ass anyways. So now he got his own guy in there, Jay Clayton. He's not going to undercut Jay Clayton. So now we're fitting to see what Jay Clayton has planned for Sean Diddy Combs. Because I think revenge is a dish that's best served cold. And I think when Diddy said that Trump needed to be eradicated, I think that stung Donald J. Trump. And I'm going to tell everybody that's listening to this video, I'm going to ask all of you a question. Everybody that keeps saying he's still going to pardon him. Let me ask you one question, ladies and gentlemen. If Elon Musk was locked up right now, do you think Donald J. Trump will pardon him? If you're a man, you got a better chance at getting pregnant, boy. Once again, Donald Trump and Elon Musk just went for the gusto. They hate each other, despise each other. The one thing you can believe about Donald Trump is he's never given an olive branch to any of his enemies. Look at his history. Once you turn the enemy of his, you done, son. Donald Trump only respects full and complete loyalty. If not, he will fire your ass. These are facts. Let me repeat that again. Now, the other guys who y'all say, J.D. Vance and these guys, those were political opponents. So that's different. When you are the political opponent under the Republican Party, you have to go against each other in those primaries. So after that, they all got to rally around Trump. That's a different situation from Elon Musk. That's a different situation from people who have personal beefs with Donald Trump, like Rosie O'Donnell, Sean P. Diddy Combs. And remember, most people think that Diddy leans Democrat. You really think that Donald Trump's going to be able to go against his entire fan base, who hates and despises Sean Diddy Combs with a passion? I was looking at the PDB podcast just yesterday. The Patrick David Beck PDB podcast just the other day. I want y'all to go. They lean Republican. They're very heavy on Trump. And I went to go see something. And I looked on their community post. So you guys can go look at this now after you leave this video. They put up a poll. And the poll asked, and remember, this is at Trump Network, PDB, Patrick David Beck, PDB podcast. Everybody listening. They put up a poll, and the poll asked, should Trump pardon Diddy? And damn it, that poll said 97% of them people said hell no. MAGA hates Diddy. In fact, if you went and read those comments, they said that if Trump did that, that would be one of the unforgivable things that he did. Now, you don't have to believe me. Go look it up for yourself. It's in their community post. They put a poll up. And go click down where it says comments. Every last damn one of them was scathing. They all hate Diddy. Trump ain't going to undercut his entire base. They already pissed off about the situation going on with the Ghislaine Maxwell and the whole situation that's going on with the Jeffrey Epstein files. You think he gonna shit, you got another thing coming. And remember, y'all, somebody said this, and I didn't think about this, but I truly believe it now. Somebody said that they believe that Trump is going to make sure he keeps his family involved in politics to continue to keep that power structure going forward, so nobody can really try to come after him when he gets out of office, his political enemies. So with that being said, I don't see him letting off of some of these things. I don't see it. Some people keep saying, yeah, I think he'll do it. No, man. You got to watch how Trump move, man. Trump don't have no remorse, man. He one of them old school players, bro. You turn against him, bro, it's forever. And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about if it's beef like that for real, it's beef like that for real. You know what I mean? And so I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And here's the thing Donald Trump's going to get in trouble with, too. Donald Trump will sit up there saying that his feelings got involved because of how Diddy talked bad about him. That's not supposed to have anything to do with presidential pardons. Trump can get in trouble with all that, with those pardons. Because if you're pardoning people because they're friends with you, that can cause major issues. And that can cause what you call impeachment issues. Right? And if you notice, Donald Trump's the type of guy, if you push him, he gonna push back. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, tried to push at Donald Trump. And Donald Trump stood up there talking crazy and went full blow at this dude. He did everything but sue him. But he went full blow at this guy. This dude walked out the White House with a black eye. Now you tell me how he got that. He walked out the White House with a black eye. How he get that? How did Elon Musk get a black eye? Answer that question. Answer that question. You get sent out the White House and you got an eye, Jamie? Crazy work, y'all.
Hey, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the network. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, there are links. Get the free membership on our website. That way you guys won't miss any of our news update stories or videos. They're all on the website, ticketvmedia.com. You go over there. You can go right to the members part and become a free member. That way you guys will get all the updates. Also, straight drop weight loss formula. Make sure y'all go tap in and copy some of that, as well as subscribing to our podcast show. Link will be pinned at the top of the chat down there below. And also, we just appreciate all y'all who support the channel. Cash App, PayPal.